The original Star Wars trilogy changed the face of cinema and created legends both on and off screen. But while the Force lives on, many of the beloved actors who appeared in episodes 4 and V are no longer with us. Some died peacefully after long, successful careers, others were taken too soon by tragedy. In this video, we take a closer look at the personal stories behind these unforgettable stars, their roles in the iconic saga, and the circumstances surrounding their deaths. From heroes of the rebellion to members of the Empire, we remember the lives, legacies, and heartbreaking losses of the actors who helped shape Star Wars history. Carrie Fischer was born on October 21, 1956, and starred as Princess Leia Organa in Star Wars, Episode 4, A New Hope, 1977, at 21 years old. Leia was a fearless, sharp-witted leader whose resilience became iconic. Off-screen, Fischer's life was marked by a turbulent struggle with bipolar disorder and decades-long battles with drug and alcohol addiction, which fueled public episodes and erratic behavior. Despite being adored by fans, she was no stranger to scandal. Her candid memoirs revealed numerous secret affairs, including with high-profile figures, stirring Hollywood gossip. Her marriage to Paul Simon ended acrimoniously amid rumors of infidelity and emotional abuse. Fischer's relationship with her famous mother, Debbie Reynolds, was complex and strained at times, complicated by personal demons and addiction. She survived a near-fatal overdose in 2016, and her death on December 27, 2016, at age 60, was officially due to cardiac arrest related to sleep apnea, though many speculate stress and substance abuse contributed. Alec Guinness was born on April 2, 1914, and took on the role of Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars, Episode 4, A New Hope, 1977, at 63 years old. Obi-Wan was the embodiment of wisdom, calm, and sacrifice. Guinness, however, privately despised the Star Wars script, famously dismissing it as lamentable and resented the cult fandom that followed. His career was a tale of contrast, an Oscar-winning stage and screen actor who felt trapped by the sci-fi label. Behind closed doors, he struggled with alcoholism and a volatile temperament that alienated colleagues. His personal life was marked by multiple marriages and rumors of emotional distance from his children. Guinness battled liver cancer for years, and his final days were fraught with isolation and regret over his Star Wars involvement. He died on August 5, 2000, aged 86, leaving a complicated legacy of artistic brilliance and personal bitterness. Peter Cushing was born on May 26, 1913, and portrayed the ruthless Grand Moff Tarkin in Star Wars, Episode 4, A New Hope, 1977, at age 64. Tarkin was cold, calculating, and one of the Empire's deadliest strategists. Cushing's career was a mix of prestige and late-life embarrassment as he frequently appeared in low-budget horror films, which some critics and colleagues felt tarnished his once-lauded reputation. Behind his polished exterior, Cushing endured profound personal loss when his beloved wife died of cancer, which deeply affected his mental health. Reports surfaced of his bitterness towards Hollywood's shifting tastes and his dwindling leading roles. On set, tensions arose due to his perfectionism and clashes with producers over creative differences. Known for a genteel demeanor, there were rare whispers of moodiness and secret struggles with depression. He passed away from prostate cancer on August 11, 1994, aged 81, leaving behind a legacy shadowed by both triumph and personal grief. Kenny Baker was born on August 24, 1934, and famously portrayed R2-D2 in Star Wars, Episode 4, A New Hope, 1977, at 43 years old. R2-D2 was the spirited, courageous droid integral to the saga's success. Baker's career was hindered by persistent typecasting due to his dwarfism, and he endured a lifelong struggle with being taken seriously as an actor. Known for a long-standing feud with co-star Anthony Daniels, Baker openly criticized Daniels' arrogance and coldness, a rift that marred their iconic partnership. His personal life was complicated by health issues and strained family relationships, partly fueled by his sharp tongue and bouts of bitterness. Baker's chronic illnesses limited his public appearances later in life, and he withdrew into relative obscurity. He passed away on August 13, 2016, aged 81, after a long illness, remembered as both a pioneering performer and a man haunted by personal demons. David Prowse was born on July 1, 1935, and stepped into the towering boots of Darth Vader in A New Hope, 1977, at age 42, reprising the role in The Empire Strikes Back, 1980. Vader's menacing physical presence came from Prowse's imposing 6 feet 6 inches frame, though his voice was famously dubbed by James Earl Jones, creating a paradox of anonymity and fame. Behind the scenes, Prowse's career was marred by bitter clashes with Lucasfilm, fueled by accusations of leaking plot details and unauthorized appearances. This feud led to his blacklisting from official Star Wars events, a rare fall from grace for such a central figure. Off-screen, his image as the Green Cross Code Man masked a volatile personal life riddled with anger and isolation, including strained family ties and a reputation for being difficult and controlling on set. Prowse's later years saw him battling health issues and public bitterness, culminating in his death on November 28, 2020, at 85 from COVID-19 complications, closing a turbulent chapter on a cult icon. Peter Mayhew was born on May 19, 1944, and portrayed Chewbacca in Star Wars, Episode 4, A New Hope, 1977, at 33 years old. Chewbacca was the towering, loyal companion embodying strength and heart. Mayhew's towering stature came with physical hardships, including chronic pain and limited mobility, which affected his personal and professional life. Despite his fan devotion, his final years were marred by accusations of exploiting his Star Wars fame for financial gain and disputes over character rights. His marriage suffered from distance and his demanding career, contributing to a quiet, painful separation. Known for his gentle nature, Mayhew nonetheless experienced frustration with the franchise's direction, openly criticizing the marginalization of legacy characters. He died on April 30, 2019, aged 74, after years of health struggles, leaving a bittersweet legacy as a beloved yet complicated figure in pop culture history. Phil Brown was born on April 30, 1916, and portrayed Uncle Owen Lars in A New Hope, 1977, at age 61. His character was the grounded, protective guardian, embodying rural caution amid galactic chaos. Brown's own life reflected harsh upheavals. Blacklisted during the McCarthy era for alleged communist sympathies, he faced exile from Hollywood's Golden Circle. Forced to rebuild his career in the UK, Brown bore deep resentment toward the American film industry's political witch hunts. His personal life was equally turbulent, marked by financial struggles and bouts of depression, shadowed by his contentious departure from the U.S. Though revered for his acting chops, Brown's bitterness and political scars lingered, leaving him a somewhat tragic figure who never quite escaped the fallout of Cold War paranoia. He passed away from pneumonia on February 9, 2006, at 89, his legacy overshadowed by the era's dark political games. Alec McCrindle, born August 3, 1911, portrayed General Jan Dodonna in A New Hope, 1977, at age 66, a calm strategic mind in the Rebel Alliance's desperate struggle. A veteran Scottish actor, McCrindle's career was steady though never sensational, with a reputation for integrity and political activism that often alienated industry conservatives. Behind the composed exterior lurked a man whose unwavering left-wing views made him a controversial figure in mid-century British theatre and television circles. His principled stance sometimes cost him roles in favor, limiting his commercial success despite critical respect. McCrindle avoided personal scandal but was embroiled in ideological battles offstage, known for vociferous debates and clashes with establishment figures. He passed quietly on April 20, 1990, aged 78, with much of his private struggles and political battles remaining obscured behind his dignified public persona. Jack Pervvis, born July 13, 1937, brought life and mischief to the Chief Jawa in A New Hope, 1977, at age 40, as well as other iconic small-statured roles in the saga. His career spark was tragically snuffed out after a severe car crash left him paralyzed, robbing him of mobility and curtailing his promising momentum. Known for his irrepressible humor and pranks on set, Pervvis masked deep frustrations and a fierce desire for recognition beyond his niche roles. His personal life was marked by isolation after the accident, with limited public appearances and a retreat from the fanfare that buoyed many co-stars. The accident's aftermath brought financial and emotional hardship, compounded by the physical limitations imposed. Pervvis died on November 11, 1997, aged 60, from complications related to his paralysis, leaving behind a bittersweet memory of talent curtailed and joy tempered by tragedy. Drew Henley, born in 1940, played Red Leader, Garvin Dryce, in Star Wars, Episode 4, A New Hope, 1977, at age 37. Red Leader was a focused and brave rebel pilot whose steady leadership was crucial during the Death Star attack. His last words, "almost there," still echo in fans' minds. Behind his heroic facade, Henley's career unraveled due to severe bipolar disorder, which forced him into early retirement from acting. His personal life was marred by tumultuous relationships, multiple marriages ended bitterly amid allegations of emotional volatility and controlling behavior. Although he avoided public scandal, those close to him recall a man haunted by dark mood swings and occasional outbursts that contrasted sharply with his calm on-screen image. After retreating to run a quiet bed and breakfast in Devon, Henley's life ended tragically when he choked on food, dying on February 14, 2016, at 76, leaving behind a legacy shadowed by mental health struggles few ever knew about. William Hookkins, born July 5, 1948, portrayed Red 6, Porkins, in A New Hope, 1977, at 29. Porkins' jovial and brave persona belied a real-life actor whose career was plagued by typecasting and weight struggles, limiting his opportunities despite his vibrant talent. Hookkins was known for his booming voice and eccentric presence but also for volatile temper and unpredictable behavior on set, which led to clashes with directors and fellow actors. Rumors of secret affairs, backstage feuds, and a chaotic personal life swirled quietly, preventing him from breaking free of supporting roles. Despite his charisma, his heavier lifestyle was often the subject of industry gossip, and his erratic nature alienated some collaborators. He died of pancreatic cancer on October 23, 2005, aged 57, with many remembering him as a brilliant but troubled figure whose personal demons overshadowed his gifts. Richard Learantier, born July 16, 1946, took on the role of the haughty General Motti in Star Wars, A New Hope, 1977, at the age of 31. Motti's arrogance, particularly his mockery of Darth Vader's ancient religion, earned him the unforgettable Force choke, a moment that cemented his place in Star Wars lore. Behind the scenes, Learantiers' career saw more ups and downs than most realize. After a promising start, he faced repeated rejections for leading roles, often typecast or overshadowed by bigger names. His sharp wit, though beloved by fans at conventions where he playfully reenacted the choking, masked bouts of frustration with Hollywood's narrow vision. His private life held quiet turmoil. Estranged from his first wife and battling loneliness while abroad, he struggled with bouts of depression. While never embroiled in scandal, rumors swirled in industry circles about his difficult temperament on set, especially during tense rewrites of scripts he helped craft. Learantier passed away suddenly on April 15, 2013, aged 66, while visiting family in Texas. Angus McKinnis, born October 27, 1947, played Gold Leader, John Dutch Vander, in A New Hope, 1977, at age 30. Known for his confident, no-nonsense pilot who led the Y-Wing squadron into battle, McKinnis' on-screen bravado masked a deeply troubled professional and personal life. He struggled with crippling insecurities, famously taping pages of his script around the cockpit to remember his lines, but this perfectionism often led to clashes with directors and co-stars who found him difficult and stubborn. Behind closed doors, McKinnis endured a prolonged, bitter estrangement from his only child and a string of failed relationships, many ending acrimoniously with accusations of emotional coldness and neglect. Industry insiders recall his habit of self-sabotage, missing key auditions or backing out of promising roles seemingly out of fear or self-doubt. His reclusive later years kept him largely out of the public eye until his death on December 23, 2024, at age 77 from undisclosed causes. Don Henderson, born November 10, 1931, took on the role of General Taggy in A New Hope, 1977, at 46. The skeptical Imperial officer's sharp gaze mirrored Henderson's real-life reputation as a formidable and often abrasive personality. A seasoned stage actor with the Royal Shakespeare Company, Henderson was notorious in the industry for a mercurial temper and a bullying style that alienated many colleagues and directors, reportedly costing him bigger film roles and wider recognition. His off-screen life was marked by turmoil, multiple failed marriages, estranged children, and an isolation that deepened as he aged. Despite his commanding voice and undeniable talent, stories of his sharp tongue and ruthless behavior cast a shadow over his career. He succumbed to throat cancer on June 22, 1997, at 65, leaving behind a legacy of brilliance tangled with bitterness and unfulfilled potential. Jeremy Senden, born June 14, 1950, portrayed Gold II in A New Hope, 1977, at 27. Though his role was small, Senden carried himself with a refined professionalism inherited from his theatrical family background. However, behind this poised exterior was a man fighting addiction and severe depression. His personal life was marred by a messy and public divorce filled with allegations of emotional abuse and controlling behavior that shocked colleagues and friends. Known for his charm but also for a volatile temper, Senden often strained professional and personal relationships, alienating some close allies. Despite his potential for a rising career, these personal demons increasingly overshadowed his work. His untimely death from lung cancer on May 29, 1996, at just 45 cut short what many saw as a promising future, leaving a tragic imprint on those who knew him of talent undermined by private pain and scandal. Alfie Curtis, born July 28, 1930, portrayed the menacing Dr. Cornelius Evazan in A New Hope, 1977, at age 47. His disfigured, aggressive presence left an indelible mark despite a brief screen time. Curtis's rugged visage stemmed from a childhood accident that left scars fueling his casting as villains. Behind his fierce exterior, his life was marked by volatility. Tales from Essex suggest a man prone to violent outbursts and substance abuse, which cost him several roles in the 1980s and 90s. He reportedly struggled with alcoholism, and his temper earned him a reputation as difficult to work with, causing friction on set and leading to early retirement. Curtis's personal relationships were equally unstable, with rumors of abusive behavior toward partners and repeated brushes with the law. Though publicly quiet, insiders remember him as a tragic figure whose demons often eclipsed his talent. He died on November 30, 2017, aged 87, under circumstances that remain private. Maria de Aragon, born December 26, 1942, brought to life one version of the bumbling Greedo in A New Hope, 1977, at 35 years old. Greedo's clumsy, doomed bounty hunter persona belied de Aragon's turbulent off-screen life. Known in cult exploitation circles for her striking beauty, she was a magnet for scandal. Behind closed doors, her marriages were short-lived and fraught with infidelity, including allegations of high-profile affairs that shocked her Montreal social circle after retirement. Her charm masked a darker side. Gossip hinted at manipulation and exploitation of younger actors to maintain relevance, as well as involvement in several backstage altercations. In later years, she distanced herself from the industry, retreating quietly, but whispered rumors of financial ruin and estrangement from her children circulated. Aragon died on April 30, 2024, aged 81, leaving behind a legacy both glamorous and shadowed by whispered controversies. Michael Culver was born on June 16, 1938, and took on the role of Captain Nita in The Empire Strikes Back, 1980, at age 42. Nita's dutiful yet doomed character was a highlight, but Culver's own life was marred by controversy and instability. His outspoken political views and sharp tongue led to public backlash, notably after his provocative statement that Shakespeare should be put to sleep for 50 years, which alienated much of the theatrical community. His career was disrupted by frequent disputes with producers and directors, limiting major opportunities. Culver's personal life was chaotic. Multiple acrimonious divorces, estranged children, and scandalous affairs punctuated his story, with rumors of emotional cruelty and neglect surfacing. Health problems in later years added to his decline. He died on February 27, 2024, aged 85, remembered as a talented yet divisive figure. Peter Diamond, born August 10, 1929, performed multiple roles in A New Hope, 1977, at age 48, including Stormtrooper and Tusken Raider, but his true fame was as a legendary stuntman and fight choreographer. Diamond's dedication came with a ruthless edge. He was notorious for putting performers in harm's way, once deceiving Carrie Fischer and Mark Hamill about the safety of a stunt harness to force a dangerous stunt. His drive for realism bred resentment. Colleagues described him as manipulative and vindictive, often playing favorites and punishing dissenters with brutal physical challenges. Off-camera, Diamond's life was a turbulent mix of substance abuse and personal conflicts, including a scandalous divorce marred by accusations of violence and infidelity. His controlling behavior extended to young stunt trainees, many of whom felt exploited and sidelined. Despite his talents, his reputation cast a long shadow over his career. Diamond died from a stroke on March 27, 2004, aged 74, remembered as a gifted but divisive figure. Michael Sher was born on June 18, 1938, and portrayed the ill-fated Admiral Ozzel in The Empire Strikes Back, 1980, at age 42. Ozzel's arrogance and military blunders made him a memorable villain whose downfall at Vader's hands was iconic. Sher's career was marked by typecasting as villains and authority figures, which frustrated his ambitions for varied roles. Behind the scenes, Sher battled a volatile temper and was notorious for clashing with directors and co-stars, often exacerbated by his heavy alcohol use, which impacted his career progression. His personal life was equally troubled. He faced emotional isolation, strained family relationships, and bouts of depression, rarely discussed publicly. Despite his warmth and humor at fan conventions, these struggles cast long shadows. Sher succumbed to cancer on August 31, 2005, aged 67, leaving behind a legacy intertwined with both dark complexities and memorable performances. Jeremy Bullock, born February 16, 1945, stepped into the iconic role of Boba Fett in The Empire Strikes Back, 1980, at age 35. The mysterious bounty hunter captivated fans with his silent menace, becoming a cult legend. Bullock was cherished for his humility and warmth among fans, frequently appearing at conventions, seemingly the franchise's kind-hearted stalwart. However, beneath this public persona, Bullock faced private struggles. Reports surfaced posthumously of his battles with Parkinson's disease, which affected his later life profoundly. While no public scandals tarnished his image, some insiders hinted at periods of deep depression and estrangement from family during his illness. Bullock's career never recovered from typecasting, leading to years of financial difficulty and frustration behind the scenes. He passed away on December 17, 2020, aged 75, from complications related to Parkinson's, leaving a legacy both beloved and quietly tragic. Christopher Malcolm was born on August 19, 1946, and played Zev Sineska, also known as Rogue II, in The Empire Strikes Back, 1980, at the age of 34. His career extended beyond acting to producing and theater work, showcasing a diverse range of talents. However, a severe motorcycle accident in 1987 resulted in lasting physical impairment and chronic pain, which adversely affected his reliability in professional settings and led to strained relationships within the industry. Malcolm was known to be a shrewd and sometimes manipulative producer, which, combined with several heated disputes behind the scenes, tainted his reputation among peers. His personal life was marked by a series of high-profile breakups and allegations of emotional volatility, adding to the complexity of his public image. Despite these challenges, he remained publicly resilient until health problems worsened. Malcolm died of cancer on February 15, 2014, aged 67, closing a career marked by both impact and turbulence. Bruce Boa was born on July 10, 1930, and portrayed General Reekin in The Empire Strikes Back, 1980, at the age of 50. His portrayal of the composed and strategic rebel general contrasted sharply with his real-life difficulties. Boa was known for a quick temper and heavy drinking, which often led to conflicts on set and strained professional relationships. His personal life was turbulent, particularly marked by a highly publicized divorce that revealed allegations of infidelity and emotional abuse, severely fracturing his family and tarnishing his public image. These issues gradually limited his acting opportunities, and his once promising career quietly diminished. Despite his gruff and sometimes abrasive public persona, those who knew him well recognized his struggle with loneliness and inner turmoil. Boa passed away from cancer on April 17, 2004, aged 73, leaving behind a complicated legacy of talent overshadowed by personal challenges. Who's your favorite character in Star Wars? How do you feel knowing that the actors have passed away? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you so much.